What's going on, y'all? Thanks for checking in with Callie. Please like, subscribe if you haven't already. So, we all know the playoffs has been pretty interesting up to this point. We're getting near the end, which I hate that. I wish we were still somehow in the first round. I never want the playoffs to end, but we've had some intriguing matchups. The Clippers and Nuggets was an intriguing matchup first round. Kawhi showed that he still is that dude. He still showed that he's him, and he can be a guy that can lead you to a championship. He was healthy. I was glad to see that, and he made it through that series. And unfortunately, it didn't end well for them. But at least Kawhi was healthy, and he showed that he can still be counted on as that guy when you need him to. And he just showed us the same thing that he always shows us. Which is. He's great. And James Harden, as for him, he showed us what we all really knew about him anyway. We just try to give him a chance and say that maybe this year's the year that he'll overcome that hurdle. And he didn't. And he lived up and proved exactly what everybody thinks of, not exactly what most people think about him, which is he flops in big games. Game sevens is not his forte. He's allergic to it. And, I'm not going to say he's the only reason why the Clippers lost, but he's probably the driving force for the Clippers because he has the ball in his hands so much. And he's supposed to be the system, but somehow it malfunctioned. But moving on from that, you get to this series here with Indiana and New York. Game 1 just happened last night, which was a crazy game. And former Clippers player Lou Williams speaks on it. I see him sometime on a podcast, or it looks like a podcast that he's on with Chandler Parsons. And, they speak, of course, about, sports and mainly basketball and things like that. And the topic that they were on or speaking about was Indiana and Tyrese Haliburton. And, listening to Lou Williams say that he was wrong about Haliburton and this Indiana team. Because he definitely had them, going out before now, or not seeing them have an opportunity or chance pretty much in this series. Because I guess maybe people thought the Knicks would just probably sweep them, or maybe a gentleman's sweep, which I wouldn't have thought that. I think the Pacers are a really good young team, and I think they play so balanced. It's really hard to, attack them. Even though you can get leads on them, their resiliency is probably second to none to any team in the NBA. I mean, they just keep fighting until the end. And, it's hard to teach effort, and all those guys play with it. And, it's big of Lou Williams to admit that he was wrong about this team, because I'm pretty sure a lot of people were. Because, if Tyrese was voted the most overrated player, I'm pretty sure a lot of people looked at Indiana as an overrated team. So, a lot of people probably looked over this team, or did, and maybe even still do. But the Indiana Pacers have been playing very good this whole playoffs. I got to give them credit. Haliburton is not your typical superstar who will go out there and drop 40 points, every night or something like that. But he can help. He helps energize this team, and he gets them going in ways other young and up and coming star players don't. Haliburton is maybe not be. I take that back. He might not be a superstar right now, but I think he's very, very close to being one. If he keeps playing like this, definitely no doubt. But what he does for that team, a lot of people don't see it. His passing is so on point. He knows where everybody is, and he's such a odd type player. He shoots differently. His form is different. He plays with a different pace than other players, but everybody on that team feeds off his energy just perfect. It's crazy how well they play together and how much they lean on each other, and they can lean on each other because all of them play big at some point in time. And that's the tricky part that New York is going to have to try to overcome. And honestly, I can't say that I was on the Indiana train, because I'd be lying by saying if I thought they could be, maybe NBA Finals team. But they look like they're on their way. Even though it's only one game, I don't want to get caught up in the moment or anything like that. But if you think about the Knicks, what's going to have to happen with them, and it's a psychological thing now with the Knicks. as good as the Knicks played, I mean, they got 30-plus points from Cat. They got 42 or 43 points from Jalen Brunson. You got like 75 points right there from two players. And Mikal Bridges played good. And you had a 12-point lead with 2 minutes to go in the game, which no team in history has ever came back from, I don't think, besides now the Indiana Pacers. Because you don't give up leads like that in 2 minutes or less of a game. Not 14 points, maybe 7 points. I might even go 8, but not 14. So psychologically, the Knicks might be in a rut because they might go into these games believing, hey, really, no lead is safe with this team. We played our very best, probably the best we can play last game, and we let that go. We blew it. Now, Naismith, shout out to him. He made like 6 threes in that fourth quarter, which was just amazing. But, you got to play it till all 48 minutes. And that's what that's what some teams in the NBA struggle with. They play good 46 minutes. In the last 2 minutes, they find themselves in a dogfight trying to figure out what to do. And now they're walking on eggshells. And now the other team got the momentum. And a lot of times when that happens, an upset happens. So, I mean, as far as, like I said, what Lou Williams said, I probably, I didn't think about the Pacers much up until now, watching them now, because I really didn't watch them much the other series. I mean, against Cleveland, they did do good against Cleveland, but Cleveland was hurt, so I kind of was like teetering with that a little bit. But looking at what they're doing right now, I mean, like I said, they can make the finals. I'm not going to say that they can't. But I had the same thought process Lou Williams had, about the Pacers. When I watched them, they're a good team, good young and up-and-coming team. Haliburton, I always thought that he could be a star-type player in the league. I always liked his game. I think his game is awesome, really. He's one of those guys who can get you 15 assists, but he also can get you 20 to 25 points in a game. He really can do that. And like I said, he's going to get to a point where I think that's about what he's going to be averaging, about 23 points with about 14 assists a game. I don't want to say his whole career, but damn near his whole career, I could see him averaging something. Most of his prime years, I could see him averaging something like that easily. Because he just knows how to get players involved, and he knows when to strike himself. And he's showing that he could be pretty clutch as well. So, I mean, and then you got Obi Toppin. They got athleticism, him and Bryant down there. Neesmith, they got – these guys play very well together. They play very balanced. And Rick Carlisle is a good coach. He won a championship years ago with Dallas Mavericks. He's been to the finals, won. He knows what it's like, and he knows how to put players in position to play their best. And see, that's one thing I think the Clippers, as an organization probably should take notes from a team like this. You got a superstar, but you got to know how to get the best out of all your players, and you got to be able to make adjustments when needed. In game. And Rick Carlisle is the type of coach who can make adjustments in game, and he's also the type of coach that gets the best out of a lot of his players. And he knows when to plug certain players in to get the right results. And only very few coaches know that. So I feel like the Clippers with Ty Lue is one of those teams that a lot of people, when Kawhi's healthy, they expect them to go far. But you also need a head coach that puts everybody in the right position as well to succeed and have the guys ready when it's time to go. And I think, based upon what I've seen a lot from Ty Lue, and he just ain't cutting it. But either way, that's another story for another day. This series probably will go 7 games if I had to bet. And I don't really know who's going to win this series. I still would go with New York possibly winning this series, but I don't think Lou Williams is going to be – I want to say this now. I don't think Lou Williams is going to be the only one wrong about Indiana. I really don't. I don't think he's going to be the only one wrong at all. I think it's going to be a lot of, or at least a few other media people come out and say they apologize about what they thought about this team and Haliburton. I don't think he's going to be the only one. He probably isn't the only one now. We just haven't heard much from anybody else, but it's coming soon, probably, the more and more Indiana plays like this, because I haven't seen no team have the will power mentally to even come back from 14 points down with 2 minutes to go in a game. Most teams just pack it in, don't worry about it, and move on to the next. Indiana plays every possession like it's their last. And if they believe in that system, they can go to the finals. They can win it if they believe in that system. And Rick Carlisle's got them in that mindset. So shout out to them. Big win. Shout out to, former Clippers player Lou Williams for admitting that he was wrong. Because, honestly, you ain't the only one, bro.